Satchkin Patchkin, Chapter 3. Your hens you shall not snatch. Once upon a time there was a little green magic man. His name was Satchkin Patchkin, and he lived like a leaf in an apple tree. The apple tree grew by the hedge at the bottom of a long, untidy garden. At the other end of the long, untidy garden was a small, untidy cottage where Mother Farthing lived. Its windows were cracked, and its door hung askew, but the thatch on its tip-tilted roof was new. One balmy blue and white morning, when the apple tree was rosy with blossom, the old woman stood in her long untidy garden and looked up at her small untidy cottage. "Now that I have a new roof," she said to herself, "I must find a way to get the windows mended." In the grass by the hedge 7 hens were scratching about. 3 were brown, and 3 were white, and 1 was small and black as night. "Useless creatures," sighed Mother Farthing. "They have not laid me an egg for days. I will take them to market and see what pence I can get for them." She fetched an old wickerwork hamper from the outhouse and set it down by the gate. One by one she chased and caught the hens, shutting each struggling, squawking, flappity, feather-shedding bird into the basket before she went back for the next. At last they were all safely in, all save the little black hen. She was under the hedge down by the apple tree. Quietly the old woman moved through the long grass towards the bird, thinking she might be able to take her by surprise. With her feathers well smoothed and her small feet well tucked, the little black hen sat quite still and clucked. The old woman crept closer and closer through the rustling tussocks of grass. When she was near enough, she leapt at the hen, hoping to snatch her and catch her. With a squawk and a scurry, in a flurry of hurrying feathers, the frightened bird flew into the apple tree. A shower of blossoms snowed over the old woman's shawl. She cried out to the little green magic man she knew was above in the leaves, "Satchkin, Patchkin, my hen I cannot snatchkin! Satchkin, Patchkin, my hen I cannot snatch!" "Leave her to me," said a voice as cool and clear as a drop of spring water. "Be off with you now to the market." So the old woman walked away up the long, untidy garden, her worn shoes trampling the unkempt grass, pale blossoms blowing down from her shabby shawl. She put on her bonnet and tied her purse round her waist. Then, with a snap and a strong leather strap, she fastened the wickerwork basket. She heaved it onto her shoulders and began the long, slow climb up the lane to the town that was over the hill. The busy day was half done by the time Mother Farthing trudged into the market square. She was tired, she was stumbling, her hair was all tumbling, and her bonnet was awry. She found a space in a small dark place and sat down to call her wares. No one wanted the hens in her basket. Jostling and bustling, the crowd hurried by, not heeding, not hearing her thin, tired cry. It grew late. The square emptied. The noise of the day died away. With a sigh, the old woman stood up and lifted the heavy hamper once more to her aching shoulder. A man came suddenly out of a cheerful tavern. His eyes were not looking the way that his feet were walking, and he bumped himself hard on the old woman's cumbersome burden. He staggered and grumbled. She staggered and stumbled and fell in a heap in the mire. "Get out of my way, old woman!" shouted the man. He was a lean man, a mean man, a man without a smile. The old woman's landlord, the farmer who lived on the hill. Mother Farthing was trying to wipe the mud from her skirts. As soon as she lifted her head, he knew her and said, "So it's you, Mother Farthing, and what are you selling, pray? Nothing worth having, I'll be bound." "No," said a voice like a splinter of ice. "Nothing worth having, or you would have had it long ago." The farmer heard it, and his face went red with rage. The old woman heard it, and she knew it was Satchkin Patchkin. "Open your hamper, old woman," commanded the farmer. "Let me look at your wares." The old woman stuttered and mumbled and muttered, unwilling to open the basket. She knew that the farmer would have her hens and not give her what they were worth. A cheap jack, clearing his stall, came to help Mother Farthing. "6 fine hens!" he cried, opening the basket. "6 beautiful hens, each worth its weight in gold." "A likely tale," snorted the lean, mean man. "6 skinny draggles, molting and not fit to eat. I'll give you but 2pence for the lot." "Make it 4," wheedled the cheap jack. "2," cried the farmer, "and not a halfpenny more." Mother Farthing looked at her landlord, looked at the cheap jack, looked at the basket of hens. She thought of the long road home and the ache she had in her shoulder. "3pence," she said, knowing the hens were worth more. "2pence," repeated the farmer. "Take it or leave it, old woman." "I'll take it," sighed Mother Farthing, and held out her hand for the coins. "Hold hard," said a voice as chill as a frosty morning. 2pence for the hens alone, a silver crown for the basket to carry them in. "What!" roared the farmer. "Pay a silver crown for that tattered, battered old basket? Not I, no indeed, not I." "Then the basket belongs to the old woman still," said the little green magic man, "and you must manage without it." "We'll see about that," said the farmer, and stooped to pick up the hamper. With a crash and a crack, the lid was flung back, and 6 flapping hens were loose in the market square. In a moment all was confusion. Dogs barked, boys larked, they raced and they chased, they shouted and clouted, babies were crying and feathers were flying, ducking and clucking. The hens ran about the street. The lean man, the mean man, the man without a smile, ran this way and that way trying to catch them. "Satchkin Patchkin, your hens you shall not snatchkin. Hatchkin Patchkin, your hens you shall not snatch," sang the mocking voice of the little green magic man. Mother Farthing picked up the empty hamper and hoisted it up on her shoulder. It lay there as light as a paper poke, and the ache was no ache at all. The farmer flung down a silver crown on the cobblestones at her feet. "Leave the basket," he cried, and hurried away, for the cheap jack had captured a hen. With a smile, the old woman picked up the coin and put it safely away. Then she turned and went quickly out of the marketplace. All the way home she thought she heard singing like little bells ringing, and she knew the words of the song. "My name is Satchkin Patchkin, and I live like a leaf in the apple tree."